I forgot to turn on my camera and the audio recording. But now we're good. We are live. Al, it's February 23rd.
February 23rd, baby.
This is That Mortgage Show.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited
Episode
to have some...
17 and mean.
It's episode 22, and we're excited to have some good segments, and we got a great guest. We got a great guest this week, so let's get into it.
Love that. Super excited. So kick it off with what's your rate?
Yep. So as always, our first segment is what's your rate? It's obviously a question we get a lot. What's your rate? So, Al, I don't know. Are we trapped in some sort of pattern loop here? Has the space-time continuum jutted us into some alternate universe where mortgage rates just never come down?
Do you feel like you're in a constant state of deja vu? Right? Contemplating calling the Ghostbusters, maybe your local ministry, looking for an exorcism?
All right, so here's the current pattern loop that we seem to be stuck in. Good news comes out about inflation. The 10-year treasury bond falls a bit. Rates dip. Mortgage applications jump. The Federal Reserve comes out and says, whoa, pump the brakes. We don't want to see rates go too low. And then the bond reacts negatively, goes up, rates go up, and mortgage applications stop.
It's it almost feels like a classic bait and switch, right? Where they get us all giddy and excited. All the things that are supposed to happen for rates to come down happen, and then they start to come down, and you get all excited. You get that warm and fuzzy feeling in your stomach, and then all of a sudden they pull the rug out from under you, and the rates go back up. T-bill goes back up, and but it's like our grandparents always used to say, right? You can't get off the roller coaster until it comes to a complete stop, right? We've all heard that thing before.
Yeah, all of us have heard that. Yeah, everyone's grandparents said that.
Years.
So these policymakers, they have their meetings, and then they release what's called Fed minutes, and it's just a breakdown of what was talked about. And a lot of what was said was that the Fed is worried about the risk of cutting interest rates too soon, but they're also worried about keeping interest rates too high for too long and affecting the economy. So
buy, but sell, right? Go outside, but don't go too far. Stay close to home. Okay, it's hot. We want it a little bit hotter, but a little bit colder, right? Wear a blanket, but turn the AC down, right? if you fight for all sides, you can never be wrong. You know?
Exactly. Cover your basis on all angles, and you look like one of your claims are going to be right if you take both sides.
Absolutely.
And that seems to be what's happening. So they also came out and said that they want to see more data supporting the reality that inflation is under control and on the path to their 2% target before they do anything. And officials are cautious to start cutting rates if it means that they may have to backpedal and slow down their cutting or even raise them back up once they start the cut. So
yeah. Shaking the magic 8-ball, and it says outlook does not look good, but it might not be as bad as we think it is. We're really not sure, So the average rate of a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, it increased about 19 basis points to a little over 7. It's the largest weekly increase since October, and it marks the first time since early December, that they've been above 7%. So, got a little excited towards the end of last year, coming into this year. Got very excited, but apparently it's going to be a little bit of an up and down. So buckle up, strap in, hang on tight, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, it wouldn't be an election year if there weren't some ups and downs and buckling in.
Yeah, that's what makes me nervous. I don't know how much we're going to see, how many significant changes we're going to see to the rates in an election year, right? But
yeah.
We shall see.
So, all right, let's keep it rocking. Right on track. Our next segment is a segment that we call FAQs.
Facts and queries.
Facts and queries. It's we take questions from our text line. We take questions from our viewers. Sometimes they call in, comment on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Al was manning the text line this week. What did you get this week from our viewers, Al? What's the question?
It's a doozy, Ab. You're gonna love it. So I want to move, right? but I don't want to sell my current house because I don't really need to sell. I have the money for a down payment for a new home, but I also can't afford two houses at once. So,
It's
right?
a really good question, man. Our listeners are freaking sharp.
I'm telling you what, they sure are. And it's like somebody in the mortgage industry kind of teed this one up for us. I mean, the viewers, the home buyers getting smarter and smarter by the day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, thank Google for that. So anyway, yeah, this question leads me to one of my favorite hacks in the mortgage world, and it's actually a great way for common folk to build a real estate portfolio.
yeah, it really is. So simply put, um, you turn your departing residence into um,
Well, departing residence is mortgage speak for house that you currently live in and own, but you're going to move out of. Go on.
great great plug there, Turbo. So into turn into an income earning property. All right. So count the rents against the current mortgage payment. Boom goes the dynamite, right? And you end up buying a new home, but also keeping that same low interest rate. Okay, becoming a landlord in the process. So
Yeah,
not too bad.
well, it really is that simple. Since it's your departing residence, you don't need that 2-year history of rents. You don't need the tax returns. You just need a signed lease.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a signed lease on your departing residence, we take the gross rental number that you're going to receive, use 75% of it, count it as income.
Yeah. So basically, so let's say your current mortgage payment is about 2,500, right? And you get a renter to agree to rent your home for let's say 3,500, right? So we're going to
Yeah.
use 75% of that 3,500 as income, essentially.
Yeah. So 75% of 3,500 is 2,625. So if you have a $2,500 a month payment, you're in the green. And on paper, as far as qualifying goes, it's like that debt doesn't even exist in your debt to income ratio. So,
A couple of Grant Cardones out here, right?
yep. Yeah, yeah,
Business
yeah.
savvy.
We should get on Instagram and tell people that if they don't own 10 rental properties before they're 30, that they're doomed. You know?
It's actually not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. We got at least double that many. Yeah, come on.
All right, so thanks to all of our listeners that participate and reach out, and we definitely didn't make that up and ask ourselves a question. That would be tacky.
Nope, we don't do stuff like that. Absolutely not.
Uh, all right, and all right, so that wraps up FAQs. Moving on, next segment, last segment before we bring you in, Dan, is going to be Debate Club. Debate Club is where Al and I pick a topic from the mortgage world, and we assign a side to each other. We don't necessarily agree with this stance that we take, but we treat it like a real debate where Al sticks to his guns and I stick to mine, even if in the real world we would, maybe there's more gray area in the real world. So today's
Yeah.
Debate Club is a question as old as the mortgage industry itself, and that is FHA versus conventional.
Yeah. Question as old as
Al?
time. Song as old as rhyme. I think is what you were getting at there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What's
so
your stance?
yeah, my stance is conventional always. Okay. It just doesn't make sense to do anything but conventional if you have, you know, at least 3% that you can put down for a first time home buyer. There's so many different types of programs. Obviously, if you could put 20% down, then you don't have any mortgage insurance on your loan. The possibilities for refinancing down the road and getting an appraisal waiver is the easiest process. So I think that conventional, if you have the money and the credit score, obviously, right, because that's a big part of it. If you have a good credit score, right, then there is no, in my mind, no reason to go anywhere else, other than conventional.
Okay. And my side of it, and it is my contention that FHA should be considered regardless of any factor. They have lower rates. The MI has in the last year been reduced. The mortgage insurance has been reduced, so it's now extremely competitive with conventional. So the right off the bat, lower rates plus the competitive mortgage insurance, it is an option that should always be explored. I don't care if you're 10% down, 3% down, 800 credit score, 600 credit score, you should look into FHA for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, I guess one of the bigger things, right? You know, your mortgage insurance, as I said, is going to fall off after you have 20% equity in the home. The ability to refinance, and no waiting time for a refinance, right? Like with government programs where you have to wait as soon as rates come down. If it seems like a beneficial time, you can go ahead and refinance, right? And not as many restrictions around refinancing. Also, lower down payment for first-time home buyers. So, especially at a time where it's the hardest time in history for first-time home buyers with rates where they are, values where they are. Those lower down payments obviously go a long way. So again, if you have the credit score, it just makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So with the rates being better, and to go to your first-time home buyer shtick, with rates being better across the board, maybe first-time home buyers don't have that 800 credit score. Their rate's going to be less sensitive to their credit score. There's going to be more room for lender credits on the rate sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially covering some of the cost and covering some of that. And then if it isn't a first-time home buyer and you are looking to do minimum down, 3.5% FHA minimum down is less than 5% conventional requirement for a non-first-time home buyer.
Yep.
And so you could potentially have a cheaper monthly payment and a cheaper upfront cost with FHA. Again, regardless of credit score, even 800, 600, whatever.
So my biggest thing here to shut you down, right? I'm going to shut you down. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, let's say you buy a house. Let's say you put 10% down, right? And you go conventional, right? You buy a house, put 10% down. All of a sudden, they put in a Target, and all the Insta moms are going nuts, right? Stanley Cups for everybody, okay? And values skyrocket naturally, okay? And all of a sudden, you got 20% equity. That mortgage insurance, you make a phone call, you got no more mortgage insurance. That's fantastic. You're not doing that, right? In an FHA loan, it's just not possible. You're stuck with that mortgage insurance.
So, great point. We all know that if a Target goes up and the moms are all chirping and they're walking around with their giant cups and their yoga pants, that obviously that's the best indicator of a healthy real estate market.
That's what happens.
But to your point, if all else is equal and the values do go up, we are still in a high interest rate environment. So most likely, regardless of all those other things, conventional or FHA, you're going to refinance within the next 12 months. It's probably the truth. So you get in with the FHA loan, you have a lower down payment, you got a lower monthly payment. And then when you're refining your rate, regardless, you knock off the mortgage insurance. Maybe at that time you convert over to a conventional. So, that's debate club. That's our debate. And, we'll bring Dan in to see maybe who won. But what do you think, Al? Who won? Who's the winner here in this debate?
It's a great question, Adam. I'll tell you who the winner is. The American homeowner is the winner because that's who we are and that's who we care about, right? And regardless of your credit score, your financial situation, we got a loan for you.
Yeah. Come on home.
Driving home, baby. Play an American flag in the background, Adam. Play some music.
A little patriotic music.
I wish I had one that just kind of rolled down.
All right, so we're bringing in somebody that we're excited to have on the show. Good guy. We'll bring him in. Dan, here we go.
There he is.
What's up, dude?
What's up, fellas?
How we doing, Dan?
Good. How are you guys?
Can't complain.
Nice.
Just out here debating.
I like it.
Getting fired up.
I was enjoying the debate there. That was good.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear your thoughts because Al's been on a roll lately. Al's been on a tear of winning debates the past couple weeks.
Well, I feel like Al was put in a position where he had the advantage, I think. So I'm gonna have to, just based on conventional and FHA, I'm gonna have to give it to my man Al, I think.
I appreciate that.
I'm
I love
sorry.
that.
I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry, man.
So I did like mention that we do these things as like a practice and an effort to just give mortgage information in a different way. But since they reduced the MI, I have been at least running the numbers. I mean, I'm conventional is more desirable.
Sure.
One thing you left out, Al, which would have been a big like even helped you win even more, is the upfront mortgage insurance on FHA.
Sure. Yeah, got fired up, got caught up. Got caught up.
Yeah, and I would even kind of say like the issue that we're seeing on the real estate side is with FHA. You know, if you're going into a home that has an older roof, you know, bad electrical, anything like that, that's where, you know, especially getting into the multiple offer scenarios, you know, some FHA buyers are missing out because the sellers don't want to risk, you know, going through that process and then at the end saying, oh, wait, you know, we need a new roof or we can't close because the roof's too older. So yeah, that's what we're seeing it on our end, which, you know, does put people behind the eight ball a little bit.
Yeah, definitely appraisal guidelines on any government loan are a lot more stringent, right?
Yep.
So definitely a lot easier, and I guess makes people feel a little bit better about the process, right? If you're conventional, that it's going to go through, right? That there's not going to be any hiccups.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
And we didn't even really get into the DTI, you know, the flexibility there, and you know, we definitely could have gone a lot farther, but we had to bring you in, Dan.
Hey,
had to bring you in.
I like it. I like it.
Dude, so
this is my first podcast. This is my first podcast, so you know, pressure is on.
Nice.
Oh, you better show up. So we call ourselves a show. The format at this point, I guess, is kind of like a podcast. Usually we go segments, we go show. So you still have, I guess you can get comfortable now that you're on a show, and you know what I mean. Kind of ease your way into podcast.
Got it. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So we're gonna get into a segment with you, Dan. A segment that we call opinionated.
Okay.
And this segment is where we bring up something in the headlines, some news, something that's topical, and we give just our opinion on it.
Got it.
So this week's opinionated, we're going to talk about yesterday. AT&T had a huge outage, and that's a thing in and of itself. But what we're going to talk about is the fact that at first it was caused by a solar flare. And then everybody was talking about a potential cyber hack. And now I read AT&T statement. AT&T said that they do not believe that the outage was due to a cyber attack. Based on their initial review, they believe that the outage was caused by the application and execution of an incorrect process used as we were expanding our network, not a cyber attack. So, like, I don't know. What do you think of that, Dan?
Yeah, so I mean, I am a big, I'm on Twitter a lot, so I read a lot of different, you know, different things that come out, different facts and things like that. Yeah. I would say, you know, if it's me, I think the probability is that it was probably a cyber attack, based on what's happening. I did read something on Twitter that said that to fix it, that AT&T just flipped the switch on and off, which is hilarious because that's what, you know, that's what we do with our Wi-Fi.
Every IT guy in America was like, I told you.
I was like, oh, that's it. That's how everyone got their service back, just like that. So
they took the cartridge out and blew on it and put it back in.
Leave it unplugged for 30 seconds, plug it back in. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So yeah, I would say cyber attack. I mean, with everything that's going on in the world right now that, you know, I think all of us are a little bit blind to, it's it's scary to think that could happen just like that, and it wasn't even too widespread. So you know, who really knows what the capabilities are to knock everything out. I think I saw this morning too, if internet and all service was knocked out for one day, the economy would lose like 5 billion or something like that just in 24 hours. So,
oh my God, how we'd fund 3 wars at once if we lose $5 billion a day with
don't start. Don't start.
You know? So yeah, I would my money cyber attack. You know, but who knows? Who knows what's happening out there?
I agree. I think cyber attack, but it's just so crazy to me that as soon as it happens, it's like solar flare, no evidence, right? No evidence, like solar
Yeah.
flare. And then as the day goes on, it's like, well, we were wrong. Like
Yeah.
there's no credibility, there's no, accountability for your
Yeah.
actions for putting out, just the first thing that pops into your mind. It's just like solar flare, it wasn't sort of cyber attack. No, we just had to flip a switch. Like just
Yeah.
maybe take a beat,
Right.
digest it a
Right.
little bit, kind of do some investigating, and then put it out
Yeah.
what actually happened. So
Whatever it was, I'm sure they're probably not going to be honest about it. So.
100% no. We'll never know the truth. I think we
Yeah.
can all agree on that.
That's the point, and I think that's where I was trying to get at with our opinionated is whatever you're like exactly what you said. Whatever it is, whatever they're telling us, it's probably not true, and that is so sad. That it's like, you know what? I don't even care what the headlines or the news says anymore because they're not telling the truth. It's like across the board, you can't. It's just not the truth. So it's it's wild.
Yeah,
True.
True. This is the
we'll see.
So all right. Well, I'm happy that Dan that you were willing to put the tinfoil hat on for a minute. So shoot, I don't know what it was. I don't really. It is a weird and scary time, and I wouldn't put it past like there's false flags all the time. Like it could have, we could get into that. That would turn this in from a mortgage show to a podcast.
To a podcast, the rest of the time.
Yeah,
that's why I say this is the point. Like up until we bring you in, it's pretty, or even like maybe that first segment, it's pretty like show structured, and then we get to this point, and it's like it could go anywhere.
Yeah,
what do we want it to be? So I guess it is really this is your first podcast, and welcome to your first.
Thank you.
Podcast.
I like it.
You never know what
you got anything for Dan?
Huh?
You got anything for Dan? Any?
No, I got nothing. Thanks for coming on, Dan. We really appreciate it, buddy.
No problem.
No, so I'm curious about you have a background in education, right?
I do.
Did you all of a sudden just decide to make the leap into real estate? Did you always kind of have a toe in the pond? How did that come about?
Yeah, so I was a teacher for like 7 years. I even got my principal degree like right before I stopped to try to get into that. But I bought a new construction home in 2015, and during that process, it was just it was it was an exciting process, and just like being with the sales rep that I was working with, I was like, wait, this would be a kind of fun job, and trying to find a transition out of teaching where you don't have to go back to school or really. You can kind of educate yourself on your own and not have to go through that process again. Real estate just made the most sense for me. So I jumped into that. I was actually, I was a residential agent part-time while still teaching for my first like half a year to year. And then I got on board with a builder in Pittsburgh. And I worked for a builder up there for about 2 years, and then moved down here to Florida. Been here for almost 5 years now. So most of my real estate experience is in the new construction world, probably the first 6-7 years of it, and then now back in the residential scene for the past year or so.
Right. And so are you from Florida, or are you from
the South Hills of Pittsburgh? Yeah, so Pennsylvania.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Resist, Al. Resist.
Go Ravens.
Resist.
No. You're a Ravens fan too? No.
Of course, man. Of course. I didn't realize what we were bringing onto this show. Just a bunch of filth, Ab. We can't do this anymore.
I knew I had one Ravens fan here. I didn't know I had two, so I probably would have reconsidered.
Deny it. Yeah. Just told Hal, the scheduler, you're not coming on. Right.
This is why I was telling you to resist. Resist, Hal.
Let Hal down.
Yeah, so. I appreciate that. Hal appreciates that.
I don't think we each have much. We don't have much to say this year, so we can both. We can pass this, right?
Everybody was a letdown this year, so I think you're right. And then, so just a real quick, a follow up. Sorry, Ab, a follow up to that question. Your background in education. Do you think that helps you in like educating homeowners and or, kind of being able to articulate things a little bit better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just helps me with like the process and make sure you go through all the steps and setting the right expectations with everybody. Definitely taught me teaching taught me a lot of patience for sure. So, definitely use that. I don't have kids ask me if I'm happy anymore, which is good. So it's little, people don't ask,
That's tough.
people don't use my
Deep
last
question.
name against me, so that's a nice thing in real estate. So
Yeah. Well, people still use my last
So
name against me, Dan. So let's not go down that road, buddy.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
yeah, here in Florida, my last name gets me like really nice dinner reservations and stuff.
That's
hmm
true.
So
We all have some good last names on this one here. This is good.
We do.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. So Dan, you mentioned kind of your journey from teacher to residential real estate. Can you talk about um, where you are now, where you landed,
Yeah.
how you got there, like kind of just what you're feeling with who you're with and
Yeah.
who you're with.
Yeah, so right now I'm with the brokerage called Blue Edge Residential. So I'm the director of sales for the residential team, and then I'm partnered with our VP of sales, Catherine. She's kind of my partner and teammate for the residential world. We actually came from the new construction world together. So she joined Blue Edge less than a year ago, I think, around I want to say April. So we're coming up on a year. She brought me in, talked to our broker Shane, and we just all had the same ideas, same philosophy, same very similar experiences in the new construction world where we all came from, and it was nice to kind of go in and start something new, pretty much. So we've been chugging
Mhm.
along for the past couple months. We've been building a lot of different systems, and adding a lot of different agents and teams and teammates. But yeah, we're on a good path right now. We're seeing a lot of success from our hard work coming to fruition here recently. So it's been a great experience so far. And Catherine and I work so well together. It's been nice to
Yeah.
get back with her and to kind of join up. So yeah, it's been great.
I love that. That's
Yeah, that's
fantastic. People
cool.
underestimate the importance of working with somebody that you know what I mean, being,
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
having a good camaraderie with the people that you work with, especially like your partner in crime.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So
Exactly.
goes a
So
long way.
And you and Kat do complement each other, and um, yeah, it's a good team. And Shane, I don't know Shane too well. I mean, I met him in passing, but he seems like
mhm.
a really good guy and
Yeah.
really sharp guy. So
Yeah.
so where are you finding your I don't want to say niche because it's such a just like an overused thing, but like where's what's your lane? Where's your comfort zone? Like who is your clientele?
Yeah. So, I think that changes a lot. I'm used to working more so with a lot of new first time home buyers, and
hmm
like step up home buyers. That's kind of what we saw a lot more in the new construction world.
Yeah.
Recently though, it's been all over the place with the buyers and sellers that we've been working with. So, I'd like to think that we're able to handle anything that's thrown at us, from whether it's luxury, top of the end, we have experience in that, or whether it's a first time home buyer, we can handle that as well. But definitely those first time home buyers, and just, going back to my education background, it's easy for me to, walk them through the process, get them ready, get them understanding what they're getting into. It's not easy. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of things that people don't think about, and getting them ready for that and seeing them, getting into that first house is it can be rewarding. It's nice. So
Yeah.
it's
So
exciting too.
service and communication, pretty
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we try to stay on top of the service and the communication side, and really just, our Shane really just wants us to be kind of like a step above, with all the real estate agents that there are in Florida, and I forget how many there are now, but you have to find a way to set yourself apart from those other ones, and
Yeah.
service, communication, being available, responsiveness, those are all things that unfortunately aren't something that all agents have these days. So doing those little things well, and keeping people up to date, it's still important.
Yeah. No, it's a
And
great point because I mean, especially, you're not going to see a lot of difference, right, between this person
Mhm.
and that person, other than communication, availability, professionalism, right?
Mhm.
With what Adam and I do, the terms and things of that nature. I mean, you're going to find some differences here and there, right? Or programs, some slight differences here and there, but for the most part, everybody's pretty close. Those margins are pretty tight, right? So it's how good are you with people? How accountable are you? How good are you with communication? Just that, that whole personal touch that you're able to put towards the process to make it a little bit better than the next guy would, right?
Exactly.
So, such a great point.
Yeah.
And I'll jump in and pick on real estate agents just as much as the next guy. But as far as like doing the little things right and calling people back and stuff, it's not exclusive. It's definitely, it's like every walk of life now. It's like the normal is the majority of people are just like not accountable and not, don't do what they say. It's like something happened where it's like no longer important to hold yourself to a certain level of like accountability.
Yeah.
It's just like so weird.
See that a lot. It's like, I mean, I would say the majority of the agents that we work with are, we have to follow up with them more so than, some of our clients and things like that, just to get answers or to get things done or to, getting showings scheduled with other agents has been problematic at times because either they're not setting the right expectations with the seller about, when people need to get in the home and do that. Or they're just not making themselves available to get potential buyers in there. So it's just weird to see because on my end, it's like, I'm like, go, like as quick as I can get things done and as quickly as I can respond. But some people just aren't like that. So it's,
the bottom line is, Dan, they're just not all, nice guys with, handsome guys with a great beard complemented well with a beige cap. That's just not,
that's right.
There's just so few of them out there, right?
And you guys have you guys are looking good up top. So I had to go with the hat today.
No, dude, I'm just covering up. I'm holding on as long as I can, buddy. Yeah,
hey,
he's got that going on.
Adam's the one. I'm jealous of Adam. That's what I'm going.
That Italian head of hair. He's got a 4-head. He's got a 3-head. He doesn't even have a 4-head.
No, do you know what's happening?
Huh?
No, do you know what's happening? So, my wife pointed it out. Like, I'm definitely thinning out where men thin out. And Dan, you probably want to like smack me because
you're muscular.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I was just saying.
No, but I'm like scared of. I've been growing my hair, and I've also while I'm growing it have been noticing that it's kind of thinning out in spots. So I'm like afraid to be that guy that cuts his hair and is like, oh, I'm fucking going bald.
That's what happened.
That's
what happened. I shaved my head and then it started growing back, and the front was it just wasn't. It wasn't evening up anymore. I was like, well. That's
this
it.
Is the time,
That's it.
And once you make that choice, you're done. You're in it. Like there's no getting out of it. You're all in.
I dove in. I still have a picture. My first headshot. I had a full head of hair, and actually no beard. So it's super weird going back.
Really?
Yeah.
Different Dan.
Different Dan. Very different.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. We've all changed in the last 4 years. Everybody's changed.
True.
I used to have a beard.
He's had the same. He's like, you could take a picture of him in 4th grade and a picture of him now, and he looks almost exactly the same and has exactly the same amount of facial hair. Not one thing has changed. Nothing.
Oh man, I bet it takes you long to grow a beard. Is that true? I feel like you. No, Adam, I feel like you can't even.
He doesn't grow a beard, dude.
Never.
No. He'll get like one hair that gets this long. That's about it. Patches a whole.
Well, I always say like, we evolved from apes, and they have a lot of hair, and we all have less hair than them. And I think just if there was like the evolution, like. I'm just like 2 humans forward because you guys still have your monkey hair on your face.
Yeah.
That's how you justify it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
That's fair.
So, Dan, what do you anticipate? What do you think? Obviously coming out of like 2021, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, even into 2022 a bit, that hot market, things cooled down, and you were at a point, I'm sure, multiple offers on a house in order to get a deal,
Yeah.
like just complete mayhem, right?
Yeah.
So how do you see this thing unraveling with all these people sitting and waiting on the sidelines, right, to get in the game? How do you kind of see this unraveling over the next couple of months, especially into the spring when things are supposed to heat up?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're already seeing a lot. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of multiple offer scenarios already coming back into play. So I would say our last 4 to 5 deals have all been multiple offers. Our last listing, we got 16 offers in one weekend on our last listing. So I don't think, I think if people are waiting now for things to change and to come, I mean, they're going to be jumping into when the multiple offers are even more so than they are at this time. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't wait too long. I wouldn't hesitate if you're in the market, if you're, needing to do something by the end of summer or, by next year, then, I don't see the point of waiting right now. It's not, especially here in Florida, maybe in different markets, but in South Florida right now, if you're in a position to do something and you find something that you like and it's something that is affordable for you for now, it's time to make the move. It's not going to get much. The competition is just going to get more so.
Worse and worse, right? And it's just going to drive prices. I mean, prices have gone up so much just in the past, 4 years? It's been ridiculous. And this competition is only going to drive it up more, right?
Yeah.
Same thing that happened in 21.
Right. And then, it's going to get more into the cash, waiving appraisals, waiving inspections. We're seeing inspections being waived, now. So
that's so crazy. I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's happening. So it's, buy now if you can. You can refinance down the road once rates do come down, but who knows when that's actually going to happen. So you guys know better than me, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's, as far as the rates, I'd like to say, Ab and I touched on it earlier that they're supposed to come down. We, end of last year, it was like, oh my God, this is actually going to happen. They're talking about rate cuts. They were over 7. They're coming down. Like, it was all great. And then all of a sudden, it's like, whoa. We're not, we're not going to make a rate cut in the first quarter. And now, with an election year, I just don't anticipate anything significant happening. I just don't see it. We're going to have to hold steady, and people that want to buy a house, you're just going to have to buy. And to your point, we've been saying it for months, refi later. Ab's calling me. I think you might be having an issue. Hey,
I don't know why, but I have no audio. I don't know what happened.
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you guys. It's so weird. What did I miss?
Oh, you missed some gold.
You missed a lot.
You missed some gold. But thank God we're recording it, and we don't need you. Do this show by myself. Call it the Al Show.
The happy butt show. I don't know why
I can't hear it. It's
happy butt show. Burn the boats. Full speed ahead. Let's do it. I've been dying to throw burn the boats in there somewhere.
You missed a lot of opportunity with burn the boats, man.
Oh man.
Do we want to wrap it up, or do you want to see if we can get my audio back going?
I don't know how long. I can hear myself, and I hate my voice.
Yeah, I got my babysitter is out of here in 3 minutes. So.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Oh, Dan's back. What is going on?
I don't know. I didn't click anything. I just disappeared.
Ab did that.
No, yeah, I did that. So, all right. So, what were you guys talking about? My great hair when I was gone? Were you talking about my head of hair?
Exactly. That's all we were talking about.
That's it.
Great hair and the neck hole on your shirt. How big it is. That's the 2 things that we discussed.
Nice.
No, we talked about the market and what he anticipates as far as like rates coming back down and how things are going to be, how competitive it's going to be, and then if we really think that rates are going to come down this year at all, and how that's going to affect things. Basically, you missed some good stuff, Ab. You missed some gold.
That's good. It'll be part of the show.
We still have it. Now I know Dan has to go. Your babysitter's leaving, and you only got a minute. But we've been talking about aliens on the show, Dan, and I don't know if you've
Yes.
seen that. Okay, which is a
Yes.
topic that kind of hits home for everybody's got an opinion. Everybody thinks something about aliens.
I do.
And I would love for
I
you
do,
to
yeah.
touch on that, just a hair, if you could.
I mean, I don't think we're alone, if that's the question. I think the universe is too big. There's got to be something else out there somewhere.
Right.
I don't know what it is.
What about? Do you think they've been here?
Seems like it. I mean, right? It seems like there's some whispers, some people out there claiming they've seen it. Some things the government has come out with recently about UFOs, I believe. So
You think we built those pyramids, Dan? You think we built those pyramids? All right.
I don't know. It's
It definitely.
we're definitely not alone here. That is for sure.
This is
Yeah,
the best
and I don't
question to
think it
ask
was-
people when they're like, I have like 2 minutes, and it's like, all right, tell us your thoughts on aliens. And by the way, what are your 5 favorite books that you've ever read? And give us a quick synopsis of all of them.
It definitely.
Aliens
It
are out
definitely
there.
wasn't. It definitely wasn't humans that probed Al that one night.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that wasn't aliens either, buddy. Jury's still out.
Something's out there. Something's out there.
Something's out there.
Okay.
All right, Dan.
All right. Wait. Do you have to leave like right now, Dan?
I have like probably another 2 minutes.
Okay. If Al discussed this, you can tell me, and we will say goodbye. But
Sure.
what are you seeing right now in your market as far as competition, time on market? Like, is it a buyer, sellers? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's definitely a seller's market from what I'm seeing. I mean, if you're listing a home and you're pricing it, fairly and competitively, that house is seeing multiple offers. If you're trying to go for prices that were maybe 2 years ago still, you're definitely sitting on the market a little bit longer, but they're adjusting, and then the buyers are still coming in to scoop them up. So, I think. Inventory is still super low. New construction is catching up, which is good. So we're seeing a huge influx in new construction inventory. I still think right now sellers, still have the advantage, but the tables could turn here soon. I don't think it's going to be any time this year, though. I think probably after the election into 2025 is when we'll see a big change. But it's really hard to predict, and anyone that tells you that they know what the rates are going to do, it's just we just don't know. Yeah, no one can really tell you, and you just got to keep plugging along here and keep doing your best.
Keep on
keeping on. That's it.
That's it. Garden. Take it.
Yeah. So, but no, it's been great. It's been busy. South Florida hasn't really slowed down at all. I mean, we've definitely seen a little bit, a change, but real estate has not stopped moving down here. And, it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Well said. This has just been wonderful.
Thank you, guys. This has been great.
Such a pleasure. And I'll tell
my
you
first
what, Dan,
show experience.
First show / podcast experience. And let me tell you something. The lights will never be brighter than this right here. If you can come on this stage and do it, you can do it anywhere.
Listen, I'm going to start my own this week now.
You should. Yep. You should. Can't wait to be your first guest. Really excited about it.
Happy hour. I already thought about it.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's
Love
great.
That. Love that.
Yeah, that's great.
You'd have to crack a beer and do it at like 5:05. That was the initial thought with this. Was like to stream it live and like hope that people join us and like drink a beer with us, but it's really hard. But yeah, man, thanks a lot for coming on. You're the man. It's been fun talking with you. Tell Kat that we say hi. Tell Shane that I say hey, what's up?
I will.
Have a great weekend, and I'll get some content out for us off this.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, man. See you, brother.
All right, see ya. Take care.
Later, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, Ab. Well done, amigo. That's a show. That's a show right there, folks. That's a show. 45 minutes, right? Everything you need. Good content. You heard from Dan.
Yeah.
So, until next time, boys and girls, this is the Abby and Al Show.
It's been Slice of Life. All right. It's not recording anymore. What'd you think of him? Just now.